Welcome back to Wailing Wire's Old Iron. What could possibly go wrong?
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to Wailing Wire's Old Iron. Let's see, what have we been working on? Well, we've had a few things going on around here. As the title and the thumbnail on the video would suggest, well, we got a dead brat. So let's take a look. Thanks for being here, guys.
My name's Wailing Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel.
Well, we got ourselves a bit of a predicament here. Noah called me the other day and he said the brat started smoking real bad. He said it runs perfectly, but it's smoking. I told him, well, you better ease it off on up here and we'll take a look at it. First thing I asked him if it was foamy, if when he checked the oil, if it had plenty of oil, and if it was foamy or not. I asked him if he had a milkshake. And he didn't seem to think so. So I said, well, drive it on up here. I thought maybe he'd popped a freeze plug, but anyway, yeah, she's got a blown head gasket, but that ain't the worst of it. I'll let you hear it. That sounds like a nod rocket to me. Yeah, yeah, she's chattering away. Right there. Okay. I knew this engine was a gamble when I got it. If anybody around here don't know the story, I had to take this brat. I didn't even want it, but I needed a transfer case for my little hoopty car, and the guy made me take the whole deal, and this engine was laying in the back of this thing, and he didn't know a thing about it, and I didn't either, but I put it in there. Me and Victor put it in, I think. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, down a little bit.
And then discovered it had busted intake bolts. The bolts that hold it on the engine are broke off. So we got to pull the manifold off, extract the broken bolts, steal the good ones from that one. That car has already paid for itself.
Has it really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
We've cleaned so many parts off of that carcass. And I had to pull all that off, and I had to heat those up and get them out of the head and all that. And boy, that was a chore. I think one of them I might have had to weld a nut onto it and get it turned out. But anyway, this thing was just to buy some time. And we went and got a donor car for it, and it's sitting out back, but I can't get back there right now. Too much snow. It just happened kind of at a bad time. But we'll try to get his wheels back under him here before too long. Yeah, since it's so nice and pretty and beautiful and above freezing out here, I'm gonna go move some snow and make a place to park that brat until I can get it into the queue around here. And that wind blew 1,000 miles an hour the other night. Blew my ladders over, blew all these limbs down. It sounded like somebody dropping 2x4s on top of the shop that night. I think, well, that was that last video. You heard some of that. But right now, I'm gonna go fire up the tractor and see if I can make a hole out back to park this brat in. And yeah, you know, I got a lot of hours and blood and sweat and tears into this thing, but you know, I swapped out the whole suspension on this thing. It had some 15s on it, and somebody tried to do a lift and didn't do a good job, and I didn't think it was safe for him. And so I bought a donor from the junkyard, and I swapped out the whole entire suspension, and man, that was a chore. And getting that engine going, and the busted head bolts or intake bolts fixed up and all that, it's been a chore. But you know, when I see how much he loves driving this thing, it makes it all worthwhile.
Okay. Wait, what about the brakes? We don't know if those work.
Brakes are overrated.
He just loves his car. I was not even going to keep it. Didn't even think about keeping it until I found out that that was his dream car, and I had no idea. So it's his dream car and my nightmare. But it's okay. He's learned a lot, man. He's come a long way. It's fun to watch him. You know, I just hand him tools now. Careful, don't burn yourself on this hot exhaust. Can you get me that screwdriver over there? Would you pass me that hammer? I'm just entering. Okay. All right, here you go. So that's fun. He's come a long way. Yeah, I'm gonna go move some snow now. Did I say that already? Well, we don't seem to have any oil pressure. Kind of suspected that. I think that's probably what happened. You probably lost oil pressure, because I'm not seeing any water in that oil, really. But anyway, blew a head gasket. Boy, you can sure hear that rod chatter. Well, I don't know if it'll come through in the video, but I can hear it. Anyway, let's get her out of here. Poor old thing. Feel bad for Noah losing his wheels, but you know, that's the way it goes. When you become a car owner, you got to deal with stuff like this. Till you go to school and get real smart and can afford something something better. But he's like me, he'd rather drive this old junk than something brand spanking new. Try to do this with one hand here. This is my deal. I like these old cars. All right, well, Subi, we'll get to you just as soon as we can. We got to get out there and got to wait for some snow to disappear a little bit before we can get out there and get that donor car in. Oh, I made a hole there though for the little brown mouse. I want to be able to get the little brown mouse out because I got some work to do on it before I start driving it. I won't drive it until the roads are cleaned up, and then that, you know, needs some, I need some attention. Everything I got broke down except old Jimmy Hoffa, I guess, and he needs a master cylinder. I got it sitting in there on the bench. Old Fred runs, I guess, and yeah, that old blue truck ain't running very good. Yeah, I'm just about to, can't keep up. But we'll get to this little guy pretty soon. Gotta get Noah's wheels back under him. Well, I'm experiencing some thought patterns about this rig. You know, I'm on the fence about what I'm going to do with the back end of this thing, whether I'm going to put a little flatbed on it or whether I'm going to put a tow rig on it. I might do that, and I've been in touch with Jeff Bradshaw. He's got one that he thinks will fit right on there. It's on another old truck of some kind. I'm sure he's going to make me buy the whole truck. I don't blame him. I would. I'd do the same thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to do the same thing. If they take that big old cab over GMC out there, him and his buddy. But anyway, been in contact with him. He's going to get a measurement of it and some pictures of it. But it would be perfect to sit up there, and it's got the winch and everything, and I could run the winch off the PTO and do all that. But, you know, then again, there is, that's all for show. I'm not going to tow anything with this thing, you know, but, well, I mean, never know. Might yank somebody off a ditch somewhere sometime, but I'm still kind of on the fence, because there's another idea I have for building a back portion of this rig, and I'm going to have continuing discussions about that with myself. But in the meantime, I still need to rig up some kind of fuel system. I'm tired of having that little can sitting up there, and you know, besides the fact that it's not really safe if I want to drive any distance at all, I mean more than just on my driveway, I need to have something better than that. So I think that's my next endeavor, and I'm thinking about this tank right here as a temporary measure, because I'll show you, because it'll sit right in here alongside the drive shaft, right in here. Can y'all see where I'm pointing here? It'll fit right in there. It'll clear the drive shaft. And if I were to move this spout over to here, then I could use my original, I could get a filler hose and use my original filler spout there. So that might be the project for today. At least I'll have it, although the capacity is not big enough, at least I'll have a functional tank and can get rid of that hillbilly stuff up there on the engine. But don't get me wrong, I like hillbilly stuff. I got no problem with it. It's been there for months, working fine, but I don't want to take it down the road like that. So until I figure out what I'm going to do with the back end, I've got to make an executive incision. I just got to. I got to get busy and get this thing finished up. But I want to wait for those pictures from Jeff and the measurements and kind of think it through one more time. In the meantime, there's another little chore I have. You know, I replaced the pinion seal in this thing. Put new U-joints in and all that. And I do not know why it's leaking, but it is. So I don't know if there's a little burr or if there's a little damage, it did some damage to the inside of that seal or what's going on. But I got another one. So I guess that's on the agenda as well. All right, I'll get back with you. That's just loose. That ain't good. First thing I do, well, maybe I don't need to do it right now, but I got to flush that tank out. When my adopted sister moved to the assisted living home, she cleaned out her garage and gave me a whole box full of stuff. And lo and behold, there was a can of Mexican chrome in there. So what I did was, what had happened was, is I went and brazed those pieces in, and then I covered them with some fuel grade JB weld, just in case there's any pinholes or anything. And then I actually put some paint on it. How about that? All right, I'm gonna see about building some mounts for this thing and see if I can stick it under there. I had to pull this sending unit out because there was a couple little brass beads floating around in there. What the hell they got in there? You suppose some fool was welding on this gas tank? Surely not. This tank's got a baffle in it, so I couldn't shake that stuff out through the fill spout. Well, I think I missed the mark a little bit. Well, I can hog it out. I got a bigger drill over there too, that I can cut that hole bigger. Anyway, very close. Pretty close. Better than I deserve, probably. All right, now I gotta get some straps. Strap this thing up so I can make some brackets. Ah. You know, I'm still not quite over the idea of using this oxygen tank for an air supply, especially if I go the one direction that we're thinking about. On this thing, I only need enough air to shift the transmission and toot the air horn, and that don't take much. I don't know how much it takes to shift. Called an old truck driving friend of mine, and I asked him if he knew, and well, he didn't know, because you got to have 60 pounds before your brakes will release. So that's just always what you do, you know. You don't do anything until you got 60 pounds. So it might possibly shift with a lot less than that, and I don't have any air brakes, so I don't have to worry about that. But I still just, man, I can't get over this. I got my heart set on using that. It's just kind of it's such a steampunk type of thing, you know, and I like it. And it didn't look too bad up there on the back side of the cab. Oh, you know, you saw it hanging up there about where those tabs are, where I cut that exhaust off. But it dawned on me, you know, it looked kind of lopsided with that one tank on there, but it dawned on me, you know, I do have two of them. Now this one I'd have to get all the paint off of. I would like to have all the paint off of it and clear coat it like I did that one over there. I just painted this Chevrolet orange in honor of Chevaholic. But you can see this was used for something else. They put a bung in it, and I got a cap there, and the other end's plugged, and some kind of fitting in this end, and a carrying handle. But that can all be changed. And you know, if I was putting 400 pounds in these things like they were originally designed to hold, I wouldn't want to be welding on it and trying to make it hold up. But if it's only going to have 30 or 40 pounds in it, I'm not afraid of it. I could weld it up and seal up that bung and clean it up and clear coat it and hang it on the other side. And that might not look too bad. Yeah, let's give that some thought, guys. Okay, before our next board meeting, let's think about that. Let's table that for right now, and then we'll revisit it when the board meeting reconvenes. All right, what am I doing? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna strap that gas tank up over there. It's been a day or two since I worked on this. Had a friend come up today, and she brought some of her Etsy stuff up. And we were working on a little bit. She has an Etsy store, so just now getting around to this thing, and it's already 7 o'clock in the evening. But I don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to be anywhere. I don't even have to be anybody until I don't know. I think what day? Well, no. Shoot, I got to go look at a grafting job tomorrow. I forgot about that. I guess I'm more important than I thought it was. Wow. Huh. All right, let's get busy. Hang 'em high, boys. Hang 'em high. All right, let's get this thing down. See how well we are. See how well lined up with the hole we are that I cut in the floor. There, I finally spit it out. Hey, that's not too bad. Let me get a light. That is not bad at all. Not at all. I just need to slide it back a little bit. And then I think I'll be able to get a hose down over that. Yeah. Huh. Imagine that. Finally got me something nice. Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to tickle that thing back just a little bit and then start seeing what I can do about some bracketry. Some bracketry. Bracketry. Well, of course. Wouldn't you know it? I want to put my drive shaft in there just to check for clearance. And of course, this thing's right in the way, so it's hitting the drive shaft before I get it over there to get it into the yoke. Isn't that the way it goes? You know, I should have had enough sense to put this on the bottom or on the other side, but no, I'm just not that bright. All right, let's take care of that. Another step back. Well, it clears just by a gnat's whisker. But you know, a gnat's whisker is all the clearance I need. Clarence. After I get it mounted, I might trim a little bit of that off. I mean, you know, if it don't hit, it don't hit. But, we'll see. Let me think about that. We'll bring that up at the next board meeting as well. All right, I'm gonna see about locating some mounts, some bracketry. How about that? Well, I think this little bracketry right there will serve nicely to support this end of the tank. But I'm kind of struggling with what to do with the back end. I mean, I'm going to have to make something pretty stout, but I'm not sure how I can make something back there that's not going to be ugly. But anyway, it'll be out of sight, I guess. It won't be quite as tidy as this one, but it'll be out of sight, I guess. Anyway, you know, after reading all the comments, you guys have convinced me to switch out this cable and break the ground instead of the hot wire. I mean, it'd be a rare occasion, but you know, rare things happen to me. You know, what could possibly go wrong? Well, what could go wrong is, a wrench could accidentally slip underneath that mounting bracket for the kill switch, and or even a socket roll under there or something, and it could short out if it's a hot wire. If it's the ground, it's not going to. So I get it, guys, and you've convinced me to switch those cables around, and I'm gonna do that, but not right now. I'm gonna finish this first. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna clamp that on there and make some marks and drill some holes, and you know the deal. Yeah, that's pretty sanitary. I think I can do that. And we'll put one about there. About there. There was a YouTube friend commented on, he said he thought my headlights weren't lined up and the seat wasn't, wasn't put in there right. It needed to be angled back and all this stuff. And I just started laughing. I thought, man, if you only knew, if you only knew how bad my OCD is and how I fussed and fretted over those seats for 2 weeks to get them just ever so. And yeah, I was just laughing. You have no idea, man. Anyway, we both had a good laugh out of it. He was just rattling my cage and I was rattling his a little bit. He's been around my channel a long time, so he knows we can give it to each other a little bit. There. Well, it's just plumb pretty now. Yeah, I was just thinking about how long I'm working on this silly little project that I know this tank is not enough capacity to be the permanent tank. I'll either have to add another tank or a bigger one at some point, but this will allow me to get everything plumbed in, get rid of that plastic gas can up there on the engine. It's hanging on the manifold. That's not a good deal. And this will work until I decide what I'm going to do with the back of this thing and how much room I have on top of the frame, and I can decide if I can use that 30-gallon drum or whatnot. But yeah, I'm taking some time on this, but this is what I like to do. I just love these little fabricating jobs and building brackets and things. So but a guy commented and he said, it's just, I can't watch anymore. He said, it's just taking way too long to get anything done.
Well, excuse me!
So, and he's right, it's just, he's taking me forever on this thing, but I got, I don't do this all the time. I've got property to maintain, and boy, it's been a chore this winter, moving all this snow and everything, and I can't be in the shop every day. And I've got now, like tomorrow, I'm going to be out on the road. I got some grafting jobs to look at, and I got this business to run, so I've got a life. I have a life outside of YouTube that most of the YouTubers are not aware of. But yeah, that guy's right. He should go. It takes me too long. He should go watch somebody like old Dee Dan, or man, that Brent, that guy, Half-Ass Custom. Boy, he nails those huge projects, man, and knocks them out just one right after another, you know. And old Dee, he's same way, boy. He gets them done one right after another. You know, he works full-time job, and then he's out in that shop till midnight every night. And he reminds me of a guy I used to know about 30 years ago. Okay, 40 years ago. Okay, all right. There, I just wanted to smooth that up a little bit. I don't believe in grinding your welds down. I just don't like that idea. Don't like to weaken it, but I just wanted to knock the sharp edges off and any burrs, so you know, so I don't climbing around in here, I don't snag my pantyhose or something and put a big old rip in it. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. Just fine. Turned out better than I thought it would. Now I got to do one more. Got one on each end. Now I got to put one in the middle, right here. And then, I mean, that's pretty solid, but you know, I like to overbuild everything. If you know, a 1x1 piece of square tubing will do it, well, then I need to use quarter wall 2x6 box steel. That's just how me and old Chevaholic roll. That's just how we roll. It's pretty good. I'll get to work on that other one now. But I gotta go. First thing I gotta do is go find a big old quart jar and fill it up with sweet tea. That's what I gotta do. Sweet tea that doesn't have any sugar in it. Figure that one out. There, I just wanted to smooth that up a little bit. I don't believe in grinding your welds down. I just don't like that idea. Don't like to weaken it, but I just wanted to knock the sharp edges off and any burrs, so you know, so I don't climbing around in here, I don't snag my pantyhose or something and put a big old rip in it. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. Just fine. Turned out better than I thought it would. Now I got to do one more. Got one on each end. Now I got to put one in the middle, right here. And then, I mean, that's pretty solid, but you know, I like to overbuild everything. If you know, a 1x1 piece of square tubing will do it, well, then I need to use quarter wall 2x6 box steel. That's just how me and old Chevaholic roll. That's just how we roll. Okay. That's pretty good. I'll get to work on that other one now. But I gotta go. First thing I gotta do is go find a big old quart jar and fill it up with sweet tea. That's what I gotta do. Sweet tea that doesn't have any sugar in it. Figure that one out. Okay, you know what? It turned out a lot cleaner than I thought it would. That's all right. I can live with that. That'll work. temporarily, permanently, kind of sort of mounted until I do something else. Yeah. So I have quite a lot of fuel line out there in my storage building that I have saved, you know, several, well, long lengths of it. It's all bundled together and I just hung onto it, and it's not real pretty. It'd be nice to have some real nice, pretty new straight pieces, but I'm just trying to use what I have. You know, that's part of rat rodding, is, you know, not go spend $1 million doing this. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use. But I don't think I'm going to get into that tonight. It's 11:15, and I've got to go look at some work tomorrow. Got to go set up a job, show them how to cut their trees and get them ready for grafting and all that. Victor will be on his way next week, and we'll get started shortly with our little season, which doesn't amount to much this year. But anyway, yeah, I got some things to do tomorrow. But when I get back, I will run a fuel line, and we'll have this thing plumbed in, and I can get rid of that plastic can that's hanging on the manifold there. And I'm sure it's been worrying a lot of people. A lot of things I do worries people. And hope to get my seats back. He said this week sometime. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be fun. And making the door panels, that's the fun stuff, you know. But yeah, it's all fun. Except for the wiring. Oh, I hate wiring. But I have a plan, you know. I'm going to draw it all out on paper first, and I'm going to take everything I learned on the Dojelac, everything I did wrong, and I'm going to apply what I learned here. And yeah, it'll work. Okie dokie. I think that's where we're going to call this one, guys. And we've got, when Victor gets here, I'm going to drag that donor car in, yank the motor. Well, I got to get the motor running, make sure it's going to run before I pull it out. Get Noah up here and pull that engine out of the Brat. And he's going to be able to do his first engine install. His first engine swap, I guess. So that'll be good for him. All right, fellers. Thanks for stopping by. All right, fellers and fellerettes, that's going to do it for this one. Victor should roll in here next week sometime, and when he gets here, by the time he gets here, hopefully I can move enough snow around out back that between me and Victor and Noah and the tractor, maybe the four of us can collaborate and get back there and get that donor Subaru in here and try to get that engine running. I want to get it fired up before I yank it out and make sure everything's going to be okay. And then, yeah, then we'll get Noah started on his first engine swap. So, buckle up. Hang on. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. And until then, I sure do appreciate you.
I sure do appreciate you.